Possibility War fans, good evening. It is the 5th of February 2023, and we are looking at the potential of finishing tonight's game. We've been playing the adventure, The Heart of Ukhaan, and tonight we are going to be in Scene 3, The Lost Spire. We've already been working on this. We actually started this last week. And I need to make sure all the cards are done, everything's squared away, and then we'll get on with the game. Okay, and what do you guys remember happened from last week? Let's start with Remy. What do you remember?
So I remember we were trying to find a way inside the building in the easiest way without getting swarmed by enemies. So in order to do so, Rios used her stick of dynamite, and Chris threw it to the building over and completely decimated it, which was awesome.
Big kaboom!
And
Rico, quiet.
Katsumi was able to lead the other Edeinos away. I can't remember the creatures they were on.
Galactan.
That gave us Galactan, yes, which gave us a chance to take down the crane, which fell into the building we all ran across. Took down the crane to prevent others from getting in, and those that did enter, we threw them out the side.
Yeah, you guys didn't just throw them out the side; you launched them out the side. Holy smokes, that was a lot of damage.
I thought that's how you're supposed to do it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we made our way down the stairs, and we're in this gigantic crystal area.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I'll kind of address that here in a few minutes. Katsumi, what do you remember?
I'll just say ditto to what he said.
Okay. Rios?
Big kaboom was my big thing.
And that was a big kaboom. If I'm not mistaken, that was so rough that the roll was so good on that it actually managed to take down the entire building instead of being more of a surface blast.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Very cool stuff.
He toppled the building.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, Andon nearly fell to his death while we were crossing over the makeshift bridge that we'd made, and I dramatically caught him in my arms.
That was a really nice catch. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Anything else that you remember? Or is that about it?
That's about it.
Okay. Darius, anything to add?
I just remember that I had cast the Bless Miracle and enhanced everybody's strength so that they were more easily able to push the tower over.
Yes, absolutely. That was absolutely important. That and Chris's telekinesis on that tower. That was a great way for you guys to work together. So Chris, anything else?
I was rolling pretty hot with my telekinesis rolls last week, getting the outstanding success for like all of them, which is amazing.
You do understand what that means for this week, right?
Oh, you most definitely. I'm going to be rolling a lot of ones or something akin.
We're not gonna say that. We're gonna toss that curse out too.
Okay. So we the whole toppling over the crane thing, knocking those last two Edeinos out of the tower, giving the special salute to a couple of Edeinos. Then when we entered the tower itself, we were bombarded with the message of this is their final bastion, that they pretty much gathered up all their remaining possibility energy and just sent it out into the worlds beyond.
Yes, I'm glad that you remembered that. That's pretty significant. That is really significant. Okay, so
and we made it all the way down to this basement level. The Edeinos are starting to break in through the crystal walls, and I'm pretty sure there's a statue here or something like that, right?
I don't know. Is there?
I can't quite remember how you described it, and that's like I think I see a figure in there, but that might be in my imagination.
Okay.
Um,
That's right. I did describe that to you a little bit. There seems to be a figure, but I know that all of you are zoomed in on the battle map right now. If you will zoom out a bit, in fact, probably all the way. Well, maybe not all the way. It depends on your own computer monitor. I've marked a few things, and they're all in the same horizontal column. So nearest you, you'll see where you've got the listing for street level. So the platform that you're on once you get to the bottom of the stairs is at street level. The reason that you know that it's at street level is because all the way, let me see if I can make this happen. Okay, all the way over here, you see a lot of shadows moving around behind this red and blue crystal that has surrounded the base of the building. You can hear tools, perhaps spears, stuff like that, being used to more or less break through the crystal, but they have not broken through yet, and none of their forms have resolved to the to be dark enough or defined enough that they're actually there. Okay, so that is your broken entry where everybody else can come through. You'll notice that the floor at the bottom of the stairs, I have that marked in the middle as 6 meters down. That's 20 feet, roughly. Okay, and you can see more or less through the crystal that here, over here, and over here you have four ways that are covered in crystal. It's probably a protectionist thing, but anyway, you are more or less back on ground floor. And so what I need for all of you to do, actually, let me stop. Do any of you have any questions about what any of your senses or anything like that that you want me to fill out for further description?
Not about that, but something that you mentioned last week that kind of caught my attention was you had said that the Edeinos were hammering away at the crystal with stone tools, and that made me think, it's like, wait a minute, they're using dead things. Are they being coerced into that? Are they go-taxed? Why are they using stone tools?
Actually, there is, let's see, there's a spell. Actually, Mo has it. I know most of you don't know Mo, but anyway, there is an Edeinos miracle, an optant miracle that can take wood and shape it into other things. Okay, so they're probably using stone-like tools. Is that our Ginger? Ginger!
Yes, it is. Hi.
Hi! Well, I will tell you, you have not missed a whole lot. We are getting descriptions and stuff done, and I was going over how I added a couple of things to the map for everybody to be able to view. I will tell you all, I am backing up the story a little bit. Now, Darius, that spell that can reshape wood can also make them more or less like stone tools, as hard as stone tools. So you might think they're using stone tools, or they actually are. As long as a stone is attached to a handle that is not a dead thing, perhaps they can still use it. Okay, but they used rock shoot spears, they used rock root armor, and all of that kind of stuff. So if those are not considered dead things, perhaps natural stone is not considered dead things either. So,
but something man-made like concrete would be.
Yeah, concrete. Like most everything that's in here. In this battle map that you guys are involved in. So what you're seeing while I'm describing it is all of this area around here, the gray area that's outside of the red and blue crystal that has been growing in, well, not this up here, but no, that is up there, is actually above street level. Let's see, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 meters. So these stairs right here are 9 meters. Okay, from this right here to the floor. Okay, so they're kind of really tall. Actually, that's not quite correct. I just did the measurements on these earlier. That's minus 6 meters, and that's 13 squares that they have to go down to meet that. Each one of those half meter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, I guess 4.5 to 5 meters is the stairs, not 9. I don't know why my math went wonky on that. Anyway, there's a landing here, and there's a landing here. And then the stairs continue down into this area, which you're seeing things that make it look like perhaps this was a maintenance area, like a hammer here or a shovel there, that is not native to the living land. Okay, but most likely it's also not native to whatever created these crystals. So anyway, all of this area around here, around the outside border, the gray stuff, that is above the platform that you're on. So you've kind of got a head start, if you will. Ginger, do you have any questions real quick before we go?
No, I'm ready to go. Just want to point out, though, that I'm going to put on my power gloves. I got them originally from this tower.
Yes.
And I'm hoping they might aid our mission. I don't know how, and I don't know if, but if I have to do any punching, I'll be doing it with the power gloves on.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Or touching consoles or anything like that.
That's my kind of style.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. So this entire round right here that goes around is, of course, 6 meters above the floor. Where do you guys want to move so that you can? What do you want to do? Let's do it that way.
That's
Don't everybody talk at once.
I'm
Just
actually trying to reread the notes and catch up, so I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, don't apologize. Don't you dare apologize. You've had a rough day. You don't deserve to apologize.
So we are still seeing that they're like on the precipice of breaking through, yes?
They could break through at any moment. You're not sure how long they've been working at it. You're not sure the level of their progress or anything like that. You're just coming in from the top. So it could be any moment. It could be 2 days from now.
Do we see any consoles or any type control box in the alcove?
No.
And do we notice what this looks like, or?
As far as you can tell, it just looks like crystal. Now, all of the crystal in the room, even by varied colors as it is, you have individual pockets. Oh, we're missing somebody. Justin. So
I'm just resetting my tab real quick.
No problem at all. Do what you need to do. We're here. So the red crystal and the blue crystal are each giving off their color worth, but in places where you have extremely mixed crystal, like right in here, here, over here, right down here, you're actually getting tones of purple that are completely natural, even though they're not in anything that would require or that would be a required material to show them as such. So
Okay.
It's not that these things are flashing, it's that they're kind of slowly fading in and out.
Well, if nobody else is yet moving, I'm gonna start heading towards the stairs on the left here.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask you to stay within rounds. Of course, you can move up to your dexterity in a walk, or if you're trying to move faster, 3 times a walk. So I'll leave that up to you. What about the rest of y'all?
I'm gonna move my character
Oh,
up.
oh,
To...
I'm
wait,
sorry,
the game's
folks.
paused.
The game is no longer paused. I apologize about that. I caught that
No, you're
just as
good.
you said it, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm probably just gonna move up to the edge here. Try to get a better look at what's down below.
Okay. Go
Are
ahead
these
and give
2 meter
me.
squares?
I'm sorry. What?
Are these 2 meter squares?
1 meter squares.
Okay.
So find roll.
Yes, please. Just a standard. Yeah, just a standard.
And do we know what the possibility shard that we're looking for looks like?
No.
Standard
actually,
success.
okay.
So we're supposed to find a possibility shard
An
amongst
eternity
all
shard.
these shards of crystal.
Well, yes, but hang on just a second. Chris, you got a standard success. You've got a head that turns around. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and just turn this thing around.
Oh.
That looks at you. Actually, it looks up at you just a little bit. This thing is actually only about 4 meters in height. It's standing on about 2 or 3 meters of crystal. So yeah, it comes.
We're about eye level.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're about eye level. Yeah. It turns around and looks at you and cocks its head to the left. It is a creature that is made of the very same crystal that is around you, but it has intelligent movement to it. Now, how do you react? And actually, let's see, who's that? That's Toma. Toma, you're there and you see that. Well, actually, heck, for all of you see it. I'm not even gonna cry over not being able to see it. This thing stands up and it looks Chris in the eye, and it starts giving off a stronger glow. Now, Peaches, give me a find check, please.
Okay, hold on.
And it's just a standard.
I know I have mine somewhere.
I promise it's on your character sheet. That's all I'm going to promise.
Oh,
It's
it's
a
Rob.
yeah, I saw that the 20, and it could have turned over, but you still got a standard success. Okay, and your eyes are immediately drawn to a brighter spot that is showing up just at the lip of this round area here. Okay, it's a little bit brighter. Chris is kind of taken aback by the rather large size of the creature, and so I need to get reactions, please.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
We don't know.
I'm not prepared to fight gem golems, whatever you want to call them. Cutting through rocks is not the same as cutting through flesh.
Yeah.
Sorry, they came out weird. I apologize. Darkhold thing.
Can you remind me, please, how do I rotate my token?
Okay, you have to take your cursor over the top of your token, hold down the shift key. Oh, you'll have to click on the token, hold down the shift key, and then use your mouse wheel to turn.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you bet.
So, as I onomatopoeia'd, I go back, kind of rebound back like what?
Are you saying you onomatopoeia'd your pants?
No.
Oh gosh.
Okay, no, you do. You recoil, but I'm going to figure this out one step at a time. I'm going to go from top to bottom. Chris, do you have a reaction to this beyond stepping back? Do you draw a weapon, or are you looking at the creature?
I'm just looking at it. I guess for further reaction.
Has anybody tried, Ukhaan, we come at your call.
Could I poke it?
Well, I would poke it with a stick.
Peaches, you're next. So you could try to say something.
Ukhaan, we come at your call. I hold my hands out. I'm ready to dodge or run or fight, but I'm not gonna throw the first punch. We're here to, we're not the Ukhaan's enemy.
Okay, the only effect you seem to get is it's one single glowing eye looking at you instead of at Chris. Okay.
Well,
And keep in mind, I have the universal translator, so if it understood language,
if it understands language, in fact, that's probably why you got the eyeball. Darius.
I had only moved 6, so I'm going to move my last 2.
Okay.
And then I'm going to hold because I want to see what this thing is about to do. And if it appears to do anything threatening, I'm going to cast Ward Enemy.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You haven't seen anything threatening yet. Rios, what about you and Andon?
It's not letting me scroll over to where I can see where she is right now.
Try and scroll outwards. Oh, you don't have a scroll, do you?
I'm zoomed out as far as it'll let me.
Okay, try and zoom in a little bit then. And then see if it'll let you move. I was having that problem with my old computer, and it just would not allow me to move sometimes.
Yeah, it's not letting me shift where I'm looking at.
Okay, you're just trying to see yourself?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me do this.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I think we'll go this way. Can you see where I'm kind of pointing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just keep in mind, you've got crystals out here to the sides that you actually have to walk around, and they look like they could be very sharp.
Okay.
So all you should have to do is left click and drag until you highlight you and Andon, and then you can kind of move out a little bit. There you go.
That was 6, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for you. No, 6 for you. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Are you going to turn to look at yonder creature?
Yes.
And what kind of reaction would Andon have?
He'd probably try to step in front of me and put a hand on his weapon to maybe dart to draw, but not draw out until it makes a move.
Okay, well, go ahead and rearrange Andon a little bit so that he can do that. I'm not even gonna cry about that one. Let's see. Katsumi.
Yes.
What are you doing? Are you paying attention to this creature, or are you trying to kind of get around?
I am taking in the side that I'm on and facing.
Okay.
Seeing if they're, and kind of watching this thing out of the corner of my eye, but watching for anything else coming through or any other creatures or any other movement that we haven't already spotted because we were on the stairs coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we're on the platform, is there anything else that can be seen?
Let's see. Now that you're on the platform, is there anything else? Kind of help me figure out what you would like to see if there's anything to be seen.
Threats?
Okay.
Or anything that kind of sticks out as more odd than what we have already, the living crystal guy?
Okay, yeah. There's him. there's him and you're not entirely certain if it's a threat or not. And then of course there's your broken entry in the middle of the map at the top of it, where you've got Edeinos trying to chip their way in. And there are no other threats that you can see.
All right. Well, I'll keep my eyes on the Edeinos to see if they break through.
Okay.
I'm not reaching for a weapon or anything, because so far it hasn't taken any hostile action. But we will be ready to draw, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it.
There you go. Okay. And Toma.
Look at this thing, just kind of start waving to kind of glance over the Edeinos, like, we should probably worry about them more than the giant golem creature. Signal bobber.
Do any of you have an alertness or an idea card?
I might.
I have an idea.
Okay. It might help to play that.
I shall play it then.
Okay, what's with the strange voice, you?
I don't know.
Huh.
I'm very tired.
Okay, gain a...
It's dramatic. Don't you know this is art?
There you go. There you go. Ham it up, man. Ham it up. Okay, so gain a clue or insight indicating the next course of action your hero should take or play to make the approved action of the drama card or drama deck any. So here's what I'm going to say. You, as a warrior, you're getting the idea that this thing is trying to size you all up. You definitely get the feeling that it is going to attempt to attack the weakest first if it attacks. But you also sense some ambivalence as to whether whether it needs to attack or not, and it's probably because, actually, yeah, you would have heard that. You heard the language proceeding from Chris's arm band that he has, and the creature looked up at Peaches when you heard that language.
It's spoken native Ukhaan.
Okay.
Or whatever it perceives as its native tongue, huh?
Right. Exactly.
Woot.
So, do you guys want to take a minute to make a plan?
Well, if it attacks, I imagine spells that have group effects go first. Everybody else open up a can of whoop-ass. Is that a good plan?
It's plan A. Does anybody else want to throw into that?
Hesitant to attack first. I'm more curious to see if this thing wants to communicate.
Yeah, I don't want to
responded to language.
Yeah, I don't want to throw the first punch either.
Okay. When I start going up the scale in a minute with all of you, I'm going to go the opposite direction that I just went. What about the rest of you? Rios, do you have anything that you want to throw into that plan?
Honestly, if it's not trying to attack, I don't want to try to attack it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We should focus our efforts on the Edeinos that are almost here.
Okay. Katsumi?
Very similar approach, quite honestly. Until this thing makes a move, it's bigger than we are, so it might be wise to see if it is going to be violent. And if it's not, then don't piss it off, essentially.
Okay. All right.
I kind of like that plan.
Then I'm going to kind of start at the bottom with Toma. Actually, no, I'm not. Darius, did you want to try and say anything to it since you had the idea to attempt to communicate?
Yes, I'm going to say, quote, "We remember you."
Okay. it turns to look at you in particular, and it's looking around you. How's that? Anyway, the creature makes no overt movement apart from straightening its head up at that point. So
it's gonna be good or bad.
Now, to be fair, I am going to go ahead and start at the bottom, and you know, how are you guys reacting to that, Toma?
I kind of look at Chris like, step back a little bit. We're not your enemies. Lizard guys over there, we don't like them. I don't think you like them. So, are we friends?
How do we help you defend against the reality raiders at the gate?
Yeah, them.
Okay, it twists its head the opposite direction of what it was, trying to take in the entirety of the conversation. Toma, give me a persuasion +1 versus... let me open this thing up, see if it's got any persuasion. It probably does not.
Chris, was that great?
What? You weirdo.
I'm a fighter, not a lover.
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay, let's see.
Make a persuasion?
No, Toma. Let's see, and persuasion is based on what? Charisma.
It's based on charisma.
Oh,
Got the +1.
okay. So you've got the +1, and your target number is a 6. Actually, no. I'm going to leave it with a standard target number.
Okay.
Okay.
Cross your fingers. Cross your fingers.
Sons and daughters of Ukhaan.
Connor, get ready to run.
You don't have to tell him twice.
Okay. So you don't really get any effect out of it, except that this creature comes out stymied for at least a round, because it is uncertain.
Okay, so neutral. That's better than enemy.
Okay,
Yeah,
Katsumi.
step back a little bit.
Katsumi, you are witnessing all of this. How would you react?
Watching and waiting, probably hand on blade or hand on pistol butt.
Okay.
Pistol butt. Sorry.
Butthead.
Sorry.
Uh,
Sorry.
Rios,
How
about you and Andon?
I am an ammo troop.
Good question.
Don't turn your backs to it. Never turn your back to a predator.
Do you want to take a minute and think about it?
Yeah, I think I need another minute.
Okay. Darius, you actually did a pretty good job getting its attention and allowed for Toma and Peaches to talk to it a little bit, which is why it has the stymie. Is there anything else you would like to do?
At this time, I'm just, making peaceful gestures and, saying we're on your side. We are friends. We are allies.
Okay. Peaches?
The sons and daughters of Ukhaan are gone, and our cosm is in equal danger. Help us defeat the reality raiders at the door.
You sound much nicer than I do.
Give me a persuasion versus a target number of 14.
Oh, no!
I'll spend on this.
Isn't it like stymied or whatever?
It is stymied.
Yeah, but I want to become an ally, not you know what I mean?
I think we're trying to convince it to become an ally, though.
Yes, that is my thing. It called us here across the cosmos. We We stand in defense of the sons and daughters of Ukhaan.
You know, I did write something for this. I should probably reread it.
Oh
You
no,
said-
my brothers and
Knucklehead.
sisters.
You said against 14?
14, yes, please.
14. Oh, she's not very persuasive. She more likes to hit hard with hammer.
Oh wait, that's a good
Okay,
standard.
Oh,
that's
but,
a
hey,
good one.
That still passes.
That still passes.
passes. Standard
Oh
success.
yeah.
Okay.
She's sincere. She means it.
Now, that brings you one step closer, but you're really going to have to kind of work at it. I thought I wrote something for this. Yes, I did. Okay. All right. So I'm doing exactly what I wrote. Okay, then Chris, are you going to take a step back or are you going to stand your ground?
If you get punched, it's not my fault. Just saying.
Yeah, it's like I'm hearing you saying, step back, and it's like he really wants to, but he really, but
just
I have a
don't take
feeling
it back
that,
to it.
yeah, I was like, I have also like this feeling that if we start, stepping back, like we're starting to like, oh, we're gonna go into conflict. It's also gonna start thinking we're gonna go into conflict.
Not a bad thought.
That's just gonna, yeah. So instead, I will just say, what can we do to help you?
It looks at you, and all of you hear in your mind, in your individual native languages, leave.
Oh man, this brings back dark old memories.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I mean,
All right.
I apologize, but we can't leave.
hold-
We're
hold-
here to try and help.
Okay. Here to try and help. Gotcha.
The Edeinos are trying to ruin everything here that you know.
Yeah.
We're trying to stop them.
The reality raiders are killing our cousin the same as they killed yours. We cannot leave.
Rios,
It's
have
our
you had
job.
a chance to think about it?
While everyone else is trying to talk to the golem, I'm looking around to see if I can spot the reality shard.
Give me a find test, if you would, please.
All right.
Target number is, since you're looking very specifically for the reality shard and not just whatever's around, give me a target number of 12.
Okay.
Use the force, Rios. Feel it within yourself.
Nice.
Standards.
Yay!
Awesome sauce.
You look at the base of this area right here. Okay, right
Hold on.
below Chris' feet. And you see a kind of a bright light similar to what I described for Peaches a little while ago.
Oh.
And you're pretty
Shiny.
certain that what you're looking for is in this thing's chest. Now the chest is actually covered by this round concrete area right here. Okay, so you couldn't get to it right now.
I see. But of course, leave it to me to locate the shiny thing.
Of course.
Yes.
So
Wait, so is it in the golem's chest or is it in the
could
round thing's
you,
chest?
you don't think it could possibly be easy, could you? So yes, it's in the golem's chest, but you don't see it yet because you're still kind of entranced by the face and the emotionless, knowledgeless demeanor of whatever this creature is. So I'm going to kind of deal with some final thoughts, and then the action's going to start. Chris, What are you thinking?
I mean, I I can't think of any way we haven't tried to persuade it.
You haven't told them that the Edeinos outside the door are doing the same thing to our cosm that they did to theirs.
Oh, you already
I
said
think-
that. You already
Yeah,
said that,
we've already
Peaches.
said that.
You said it. Yeah.
And it did not
Yes.
help in this particular instance.
Damn it.
Because its
Sorry.
mission is to protect this place. It ironically does not care about our world, even though that caring about our world would help it. It just does not compute within itself that, helping our world helps it.
Okay, now, you guys take a moment and discuss it,
I have a
how you might be
I have
able
a
to
very
convince
terrible
it.
idea. I have a very terrible idea.
Okay,
What?
what is that?
Tell Chris to stand back. I stand in front of it, pull my hammer. Look, we want to help you protect this place. Either you can let us help you, or I'll shove this hammer in your butt.
Yeah, you probably
You're
don't
gonna
want to do
threaten
that.
It won't feel comfortable to you. I said it was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Being honest. Well, I mean, I say at least we try to have a good chunk of people trying to move towards the Edeinos to start, going after them, while at least 2 to 3 of us are over here still trying to convince it. If it attacks, then
Whoever skills in the character.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
there might only be a
I
couple
thought of
people over
something.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, where's the exit of this place, really? Where can we leave?
You've got
We've lost our way.
You've got 6
we-
potential exits. Okay. The one that is going to be the hardest to get through is the opposite side of this platform area, where the Edeinos look like they're getting ready to break through. The next level down for difficulty is going to be these 4 exits that are covered in crystals. And then probably the least difficult of the exits, depending on how you guys use your skills and whatnot, is going to be going back up the stairs, frankly. There are no easy answers here. If I were to place them, if I were to place them on a 0 to 100 scale, I would say that the for difficulty, I would say the broken entry over here is 100. Getting out of these crystal covered areas is probably about 90 to 95, and then getting out, going back up the stairs, is probably going to be 80 or 85. So you're still talking some high level difficulty here.
Okay, but I'm not gonna say this out loud yet, but I'm just trying to fly by through you guys real quick. Is that I can ask it. We can't leave. We are surrounded by the Edeinos, the reality invaders. We will help fight with you.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, but it's not going to have any effect. It is.
I mean, it was like I'm just trying to say is that they're coming in. We have no way out, so we're trying to get your help to fight.
Yeah.
Against the invaders of your home.
If you want us to leave, we're gonna have to fight.
Yeah. If nothing else, kill us last.
Exactly.
Sorry, that was my out loud voice.
I'll take on the challenge. That's fine with me. Let me get my hammer out.
Okay,
That
so
was the most effective thing to say.
What's life without a few tiny challenges, huh?
there you go.
A few.
A few, and this is tiny.
Yeah. Okay, so Peaches, what do you think?
About what?
Final thoughts before we get into anything.
Yes. Stand with us against a common enemy, and we will leave.
Okay, yeah, that's not going to help.
Until...
This thing is
No.
this thing is a guardian, and more or less, except for its loyalty, nothing else phases it. It will fight on its own or with allies if it thinks you're an ally. so far you've not given it any real reason to think you're an ally, except that you've announced that you are here to fight on behalf of Ukhaan.
Oh.
But it doesn't know you from
Should we-
scrap.
Should
Sure.
we ask it then what would we need to do to prove that we're on your side?
Well, we can't leave. We can help him. We can help defend against the Edeinos at the gate.
Well, you've already said that, though. And trying to convince it further is going to require something a little bit more special. But let me ask you this question. Has anybody in the group resolved the idea that even if you help this thing defeat the Edeinos, you're still going to have to defeat it to get the Eternity Shard?
Oh yeah, I figured that from the start.
Yeah, but if we get it exhausted first with the Edeinos.
It's a
golem. They don't get exhausted easily.
Exactly.
Suffer shock.
That was two of us
I'm
that said
talking-
it's a golem.
Well, I'm talking about it can be still be damaged by its fight with the Edeinos and be in a weakened state.
Bone against gems don't usually work too well. I mean, we have to have a really good way to convince it to be on our side. If not, then I'll get my hammer out and smash it.
Okay. Oh, wrong way. Okay, so Darius, any final thoughts?
Does it look damaged or injured in any way?
Negative. No, there's no chipped stone. You've got some jagged edges, but the stone is, or the crystal is very pointy in all kinds of places.
I do want to point out I have an alertness card in my hand, not yet in my pool, but I have the perk that lets me put it in my pool if I need to.
Yeah.
You notice an otherwise unseen item, clue, or event.
Right.
Alertness may be played out of your hand at the start of an ambush to prevent the heroes from being surprised.
Right. Well,
I just want to make sure that you guys know that that's on the table.
Well, thank you for letting me know about that. Hold on to it until it's necessary. Okay? Which may be here in a minute, depending on what you guys do. So, yeah.
Sorry. And it's like, we aren't here to fight our friends that we have.
No, I understand that you guys are trying to find a different way to convince it you're an ally, but you have not yet, and I'll just give this to you as a clue before I go on with the list, you have not yet said anything that would really convince it that you are truly allies. It took notice, but that was it.
Well,
we don't have a lot of information to go on in the first place.
That's true.
She already said that we fight for Ukhaan, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. And
that
we remember you.
Yeah.
Was also said.
And all of those things are what helped to give it a moment of pause, which is what that stymie represented.
And we also said, right, that these reality raiders at the gates are doing the same thing to Arcosm as they did to Ukhaan.
Correct.
So we again have a third. Let's think. We are with you. We are against the reality raiders. Our reality is being attacked. Why would we be against them?
That's true.
It's like,
but I want you to understand.
The enemy of our, the enemy of our enemy is a friend.
Understood. I understand. But what you're talking about is a golem. This thing has a very limited understanding and a very limited personal command structure. Okay, it's pretty much there to defend. Period. So convincing it is going to be very difficult, at least.
All right, but is there something specific that it needs to hear? I mean, we were called here by the Ukhaan themselves initially.
Were you?
Yeah, we with our first encounter where we got the power gloves and the
Mm-hmm. But how long
The
ago
universal
was that?
translator.
Yeah, and the translator, they told us about their last stand and said, "Don't let it happen to you."
And you heard the
here we
very
are.
same message coming in here.
Right, and here we are, making our own Cosm last stand, as it were. I mean,
okay,
we
you have registered that you want to be allies, that you would act in an allied capacity. You have represented that you want to defeat the denizens of the living land. We've got that, okay? But what?
not just them.
I understand that.
Not just,
But what
yeah.
could you do in this present situation, in this moment, that might be able to convince it to be on your side? What more could you give to convince it?
Possibility.
I mean, can we even give possibility energy to it or something like that?
You could give possibility energy to it, but the light that is coming from its chest is already pretty bright. And you can see that it's radiating out into the room. I actually have a light effect for it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's ominously swirly too.
I love it.
Is it mesmerizing?
Very. I like this
Slightly.
effect a lot.
Okay, I was on Darius. Let me get back to Darius real quick. If you said something, I can't remember what it was you said.
The first thing I said was, "We remember you," and then after that I said, "We're friends, we're allies."
Yes. Okay. So between you, Peaches, and Toma, you guys managed to kind of convince it. Okay. That's why it got the stymie in the first place, is because it was thinking. Now, what else do you think? You guys can talk amongst yourselves, but what else do you think might help convince it to be on your side?
I mean, unless we have like a physical message or like a physical representation, I can't of the lost race. I can't think of anything else.
We have only the only things we have are the journal reports and the instructions, essentially, about what the raiders were doing to our own Cosm that the Ukhaan gave us initially.
Wondering about if, instead of saying that we're friends or we're allies, if we just straight up say we are Ukhaan.
I think it can tell us definitely that we're not.
Yeah, and especially we've introduced ourselves as allies first.
Yeah.
Now we'd just be lying to it, and we lose the trust we've established so far.
But what could be said as kind of an extension, instead of "we are Ukhaan"? What could be said instead?
We are brothers and sisters of Ukhaan?